Hello everybody, James and Eddie532 here. Today we're looking at updated Railway Series Gordon and Henry. Now you might be saying, Eddie, my man, why? You're again? Really? And yes, again. And you're probably still saying, why? Just you had no point. There was no really rhyme or reason to. But I would disagree with you. And I decided to do these two together instead of separate because their tenders here are the exact same as before. I'm not even kidding. Tenders have not changed whatsoever. If I get Gordon's tender here, I can explain a little bit more. Same tender. Always. Yeah. So you're probably still saying, hey, but why? There was no good reason to. And I would have to disagree with you. Updating Thomas, and then later Percy, and then James, kind of just put me on this kick to where I think I should redo lots of the engines. Well, not a lot of them, but a few of the first. The main characters who will appear on screen most often, I think I needed to redo because they kind of looked not bad necessarily, but they weren't up to standards as someone as good as Bear here. Because Bear, you'll notice all his paintwork is smooth and all that. His shaping is nice, and yeah. So I figured, well, let's make them the main characters, some of the better ones. Just because they're the guys who are going to be seen on screen most often. So I figured, okay, well, I'm done, everybody. Duck doesn't really need to be updated. Oliver is good. So what if I do Gordon and Henry, right? Gordon, Henry, and Edward. The three railway engines were the last ones I needed to do. To be honest, I wasn't really happy with these two. Well, Henry, yeah, he was really cool, but I wasn't quite happy with his shape. And Gordon, I wasn't happy with much at all. So I guess we'll start with number 3, Henry, just because I prefer Gordon out of the two here. You'll see, nothing really not much has changed. Henry's cab and firebox, like here and here, are the same. Nothing has changed. I'm not even joking. It's the same as beforehand. Now, you might be saying, hey, why does he have an extra line at the front? And, well, that's because here's where the changes begin. If I bring in a normal Trackmaster scaled engine, like Rosie here, you'll notice in the length that Henry, if I can get the turntable to move, here, we'll just... Don't worry, I'm working on this, and we'll probably show it off in its own individual video. Yeah, I don't know why it's being weird today. Yeah. You'll see if I line up her back of the bunker with Henry. Henry's longer, which you're like, well, yeah, he was beforehand. Well, move her. Well, now he's like extra long. So basically, I cut off the funnel from the smoke box, sanded it down, and painted over it. And extended to give it a smoke box, I took a little piece of cardboard like this with the corrugation in it, cut it into a circle, and then wrapped other cardboard, softer cardboard, around it to make it a little bigger. And that's how we got a smoke box. So yeah, he is longer. I'm much more happy with this footplate as it doesn't. He doesn't look as low. His boiler doesn't look as like he sits as low as he did before. He looks like the footplate sits a little lower now. Yeah. It was done the same way I did the first Henry. At least this section was. Yeah, if you want to know how I actually got the body raised and stuff, go watch the first Henry video. Yeah. If we flip it around here, I didn't like where the dome was placed, Because that was more of like right here. And considering his smoke box was like right here, that was fine. But then I'm like, no, it's too far back. So I cut off the dome and made my own dome out of cardboard and moved it forward a little bit. Not a whole ton, but the Black Five's domes were really far back anyway. But I didn't like just, no. So I made a new one. Yeah, the front, this was done differently. I used cardboard, of course, and instead of making it out of one piece, I made like this corner piece here, and then I extended it out and stuff. Yeah. Then I basically went over it with soft cardboard. There wasn't a whole ton to doing Henry here. His face, I want to redo his face. It's not quite Henry enough for me. Neither is Gordon's, but yeah. There's not a whole ton to Henry here. Oh, I weathered him on top with just dry brushing black. Yeah. I didn't want to look too weathered, as yes, he is a goods engine, but he's not a garbage engine, for crying out loud. Anyway. Next we have Gordon, the big engine. You'll hear that. His footplate is low-ish. If I put him next to someone like Rosie here, and line him up, boom, he's much longer. I did the same method I did with Henry, but made his smoke box just longer in general. So he extends out a little bit more. His cab is the same. It was done, like, this boiler here, that's the original boiler. Smoke box, yeah, everything. Now you might be wondering, why is his firebox raised up like this? Curved up. Because if you look at the top, it's straight, kind of curves up a bit at the back. That was not actually an error. That was me choosing to do that. Because if you look at an actual A3, or A1, A3, their fireboxes, or the area around it, is sort of like, there's like a slant that goes up and then makes it flat again. I wasn't sure how to do that, as I tried that once before, and I really hated it. So I decided, okay, well, let's do that this time, but better. And I did, much better, and I like it now. Because, like, Gordon has a firebox. Yeah. Same method for the extension as Henry, except for the footplate shape. Yeah, this is cardboard, and then this is the smoke box. Cut off the funnel, of course. Yeah. And then I actually rebuilt the footplate too, just because I know it still looks a little high, but I don't know, I'm happy with it. His chassis can be removed, and sometimes I remove it because it doesn't look right, but at the moment it looks good, so yeah. His dome had the same issue, but this was I was a lot more bugged by than Henry's, just because his dome at the time was all the way like right about back here more, and like, no, it's just ugly, so I moved it forward. Ish is the word, just because it's not really much forward, but it looks better now. Maybe the domes were just too small, I don't know. He is still held up by the straw in the front, if you can see it. Yeah. Just so he does look like taller compared to the others. Just to sort of give that Gordon the big engine presence, you know? Yeah. This time I didn't give him anything in front, I just kind of left it blank. And I'm okay with that. I like it like that. Yeah. I'm going to redo the face on him too, but yeah, it's good enough for now. The lining here is a little special, because if you would have seen my old Gordon update, he had red and gold lining. I did that here too, just because, like, why wouldn't you? Because I like the idea that express engines get the red and gold lining. Like, it's an exclusive thing to only a few engines get it. Not even James got it, so yeah. I also decided to keep the silver buffers on him, and instead of just leaving it red in front, I gave him gold lining around the front of his footplate too. Oh, also underneath, like, the bottom stripe of his footplate. Yeah. Oh, a thing I didn't mention with Henry, but you could probably tell. I decided to give them, like, fake wheels. I didn't have any more push-along wheels after Bill and Ben's project. Otherwise, I probably would have used those. Yeah, you've seen that. And Henry just has the two in front. Yeah, I like these guys. That's really all I have to say. Initially, when beginning to film, I thought there was going to be a lot more to say about this. But to be honest, there's not a whole ton. Because a lot of it just is a rehash of what I said in the first few videos. And then, like, a few new things. Yeah. Oh, this Henry uses the same firebox from the old Henry. Because the old Henry's firebox was sticky tacked on. And because I wanted to make that switch to old shape Henry. But then I made the old shape Henry, and I'm like, oh, I'll just glue it on now. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I guess this is really all I have to say. Don't worry, next week, or even later in the week, there will be another engine, which will wrap up the redos. And you will get a new engine the next time after the redos are over. You know what I'm saying here? Yeah, I hope you do. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.